Tonight on Children's Hospital, 6-year-old Emily finds out if her bone marrow transplant has worked.
I'm definitely Emily Fish, and I'm definitely having a transplant.
10-year-old Callum's stitches are no laughing matter.
So it's working.
And 12-year-old Jack wishes he'd never picked up that firework. The Royal Manchester Children's Hospital is now the biggest and most up-to-date hospital for children in the UK. Packed with state-of-the-art equipment, its 1,000-strong team of medical professionals treat over 100,000 patients a year in a building the size of 39 football pitches, working together 24/7 to improve the lives of children when they need it most. The hospital's bone marrow transplant unit is one of the largest of its kind in the country. Children come from all over the world to be treated by the 30-strong team. 6-year-old Emily Fish is in the process of having a bone marrow transplant that could save her life. She has a potentially fatal blood disease that affects around 1 in a million children.
When there's not much blood in me, it makes me feel tired. It makes me feel all floppy.
To prepare her body for the transplant, Emily's endured 10 days of gruelling chemotherapy treatment. It's been an agonising process for her parents, Kate and Mark, who've been by her side day and night.
You'd like it to be you, but you can't be you. She's a brave little girl, though.
And after nearly 2 weeks in hospital, Emily was given a transplant of new donor blood cells. But now she's entering the most critical stage in her treatment.
So, we're through the first 2 bits, got the conditioning done, we've got the transplant in. It's never completely smooth. Sometimes transplants can be very hard, sometimes they can be really easy, and if they're really easy, that's fantastic for all of us.
Yeah.
But the right thing to say is that we're here to deal with whatever we see.
Yeah, I know.
Emily's doctor, Rob Wynne, has been head of the bone marrow transplant unit for the last 6 years. He says it's still early days in her treatment.
Got a long way to go. This is a process, not an event. We've put some cells in, but it's not like putting in a kidney and the kidney starts to work and off we go. We've put in some blood stem cells, but it'll take a long time, maybe months, to regrow the blood.
Can I just check your name band? I know it's you, but can you read it to me?
Right now, Emily has no immune system, so she's more vulnerable than ever.
The immune system takes a long time to recover, and so infection is the major risk to children at this stage and carries a risk, including a risk of death.
She has no immune system at all at the moment, literally none. If you stop and think about it, it's really scary.
The only way to protect Emily from infection is to keep her isolated. Access to her room is strictly controlled. The air is filtered and only her parents and essential staff are allowed in.
It's like feeling in jail. Well, not really in jail, am I? I'm getting better in the hospital.
Emily's family have agreed to film themselves in isolation, which proves a handy distraction.
So I can film the tree, so I'm filming Daddy.
Hi, Emily.
Hello, Daddy.
How are you feeling today?
Fine.
Fine.
Great.
She's been incredibly strong, really resilient. Even when she's been feeling really low and really lousy, she's managed to pull herself up and bounce back.
And keeping Emily's spirits up over the next few days is going to be even more important as she starts to lose her hair, the side effect from her chemotherapy treatment that she's been dreading the most. The hospital's accident and emergency department sees over 700 children a week, a lot of them boys with sports injuries. Today, football's claimed another victim, 10-year-old Callum.
He's never been to hospital before. The stitches, they're frightening him.
Callum's terrified he's going to have stitches, and they'll hurt.
Hello, Callum. My name's Alex. What have you done to yourself today?
I've done mini.
Oh dear. Can we have a look?
A&E doctor Alex Blythe has a way of making nervous children feel at ease. It's his job to fix Callum's knee without causing him any pain.
How have you managed this?
Fell over playing football. I just tripped because it was rocky.
Can we pop you on there to have a proper look at it? Excellent stuff. Can you bend your knee for me? And back out straight. Can I put 1 or 2 stitches in that, just to make sure that when you bend your knee it doesn't all open up? All right. Won't do.
Maybe try some antidox, maybe?
Yeah, why not? And the laughing gas is a great idea. Yeah, tastes a bit funny, but it might make you feel a bit funny. That'll stop it from hurting. All right? You look ever so worried, and it's really not worth being worried about because it'll be over all nice and quickly. Then we'll get you home.
This is what the magic gas is going to come through that you're going to have while Alex is stitching your leg up, okay? It's the same gas that your mum had, I bet, when she gave birth to you. So hopefully it's going to make you laugh. So it's big deep breaths in through your mouth and out through your nose. Okay? Come on.
No.
Yeah?
Yeah, give it a go.
So keep going.
And if it's still just unbearable, tell me to stop and I'll stop. Bit cold.
That's it, good lad. That's it, it's working. Keep breathing and keep laughing. Keep going. I know you're trying to be nosy. Keep breathing on that gas. You're doing really well.
Now, were you honestly expecting to be laughing all the way through your sutures?
No. Okay, done.
How was that?
Weird. My eyes are funny.
I think actually he was very brave. I've seen an awful lot worse, and I've certainly been unable to get anywhere near people with injuries like that because they're so scared, and he was fabulous.
I've learnt that it doesn't hurt that much.
Brilliant. Thank you very much. Say goodbye. Thank you. Bye.
It's Christmas Day, and 6-year-old Emily and her mum and dad are spending it in an isolation room in the hospital.
Come on, let's pull a cracker.
You want like a close-up of the cracker?
Emily's had a potentially life-saving bone marrow transplant, and she and her parents are waiting to see if it's worked.
It's been as nice as it can be in hospital.
Been very different,
Yeah.
hasn't it? It's been much rather have spent Christmas at home.
The family are finding it tough being separated from Emily's little brother, John, who's here today on a visit.
Hello, John. I'm feeling well today. How are you feeling? Nursing you, Emily. I love you, John.
It's really hard, yeah. It splits you up a bit as a family. So anything that does that's really hard. Especially at Christmas when you all want to be together.
And on Boxing Day, the effects of 10 days of chemotherapy take their toll.
Can you just tell the cameras what's a bit pooey that's happening today?
No.
What are you struggling with at the moment? What's happening? Okay. Emily's having a bit of a bad day today because her hair's coming out. And it's just been coming out in quite big clumps all day. But it's obviously a little bit upsetting. And we're just trying to decide what to do. Emily quite likes the idea of just letting it come out. But obviously, it might be easier if we give it a quick trim.
Obviously that's something that we've known is going to happen, but it's still, you know, something to deal with and something that's very traumatic for Emily.
The drugs that we give for transplant will inevitably cause hair loss. It's a big ordeal when it goes away. It's a big psychological change for the child.
We're cool with it, aren't we? We're cool with having a beautiful head. Emily's come to terms with it almost quicker than we have in some respects.
She's dealt with it like she has done everything really positively, and she's been very accepting about it.
Right. You look really beautiful like that.
I want to wear my hair away.
Well, I think you look beautiful without.
Wear my hair.
The hospital have given Emily a wig, which really helps.
Might like it more than my old hair.
The positive side of it is that losing a hair is part of gaining her blood, and in the big scheme of things, blood is much more important than hair.
In 3 days' time, Emily and her parents will find out if her transplants worked.
You say.
We're waiting for Emily's blood counts to go up because that will mean that the donor cells have been grafted. I think it's just going to be a really anxious wait.
The burns unit at the Royal Manchester Children's Hospital was the first of its kind in the UK. Today, it's the largest specialist unit for children in the country. In previous years, staff have spent much of their Novembers treating children with firework injuries, but this year they've only seen 3 cases. One of them is 12-year-old Jack Ferguson.
I was holding a firework with my friends on the way to school, and I lit it and it blew up in my hand.
Bang, 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 at 8:05. Dad, my hand. It was all black. I thought he'd come off his bike or something, and I just said straight away, what is it? And he said, a firework. Started telling porcupines that someone had thrown one at him, and he tried to catch it.
Just going to do some of your wound just to make sure there's no bugs and things in there.
Nurses are about to dress Jack's hand. Staff nurse Maria Roberts needs to clean it so the wound can heal without getting infected.
Just taking a swab to see if there's any infection or any bugs or anything. Because it was a firework, it could be quite dirty, and if it gets infected, it can stop the hand from healing. So we'll take those swabs, we'll send them away, and then if there's any infections or anything, we can treat it appropriately.
Painful.
It's painful, and he's had morphine. He's had 2 lots of morphine as well. So imagine what the pain would be like without the morphine.
Burns are incredibly sensitive, so Jack's had plenty of painkillers. He won't feel the hand, but there are other side effects.
Come with that if you wanted.
Good lad.
He's feeling extremely nauseous.
Could that be the drugs that kicking in as well, doing that?
Yeah. Morphine.
That's good, lad.
Good lad.
There you go. You feel a bit better now.
After cleaning, the wound is covered with antiseptic and an airtight dressing to prevent infection.
Does it stink?
It does stink a bit, yes. If it's hurting, in a way, it's strange, but it's good.
It's then padded for protection.
That's excellent, you're doing really well there.
Can you use it on a pillow?
Silly, isn't it? Very silly. We wouldn't have expected it from Jack, though.
Considering he was holding a firework, it wasn't too bad. It was a little deep in areas, but it was mainly superficial, so he was quite lucky.
Thank you, you've been great.
4 days later, Jack's back, so the nurses can check there's no infection.
That is nasty.
This time, the only pain relief is paracetamol.
Do you want your mum to sit with you? Bit of moral support.
That feels really good.
All right. All the nerve endings are exposed at the moment, which is why it's really hurting for him. These areas are covered here with the skin, whereas this is actually all exposed.
It's upsetting me seeing Jack getting upset. Sad to see him going through the pain, but you know, it's self-inflicted. It's so sad.
It's good though.
Don't worry. Might sting a little.
It feels weird though.
So that's the sensation that everybody usually says. It feels weird because you've burnt away nerve endings and things. You all right? Is it stinging?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll try and do it as quickly as I can. All right, nearly done.
The good news for Jack is there's no sign of infection.
There you go.
The bad news is the dressing will have to be changed every 4 days until it's healed.
There we go, all done. It's a lesson learned, isn't it? Yeah.
The bone marrow transplant unit has been home to 6-year-old Emily Fish and her parents for the past 3 weeks. 10 days ago, Emily received a bone marrow transplant that offers the only hope of a cure for her rare blood disorder. She's been kept isolated ever since to protect her from infection. It's been an anxious wait to see if her new donor blood cells have started to work. But today, Dr. Wynne has news.
Good day, how are you?
What we're seeing is evidence of bone marrow function, and what that's telling us is that when we gave the donor marrow, it's found its way into her bone marrow and is now making blood, which is now coming out of the marrow into her bloodstream. We have engraftment.
Yeah.
We expect it to continue and we expect it to get stronger. So going well, it's going really well, but we've still got a fair old way to go, but it couldn't be better.
This is a big milestone, probably as big a milestone as the transplant itself.
We're just so happy that the stem cells are starting to graft, so it's really good news, really, really good.
There's some good cells in my bone marrow. I'm so happy.
And now Emily has some protection against infection. She can leave her room for the first time in 3 weeks.
Where do you want to go to?
Feels strange because I've not been out of my room for a long time. It feels brilliant.
What's got to do? Got to understand.
Today's been a really good day because of her count and obviously because she's come out of her room. It's been fantastic.
With Emily on the road to recovery, there's only one thing the family are now hoping for.
We've got some positive blood results and now maybe we can start to look forward to getting home.
In a week's time, Emily and her parents will know if she's well enough to go home. In A&E, an injury that staff see regularly is dog bites. Professor Simon Carley and the team treat at least one every week.
It says here that you've had a bit of a bad experience with the dog and you've been on some antibiotics, is that right? So what I'm going to do is just gently take this off and just see what we can see.
12-year-old Richard was bitten by an illegal pit bull 2 weeks ago as he walked home. He's back in A&E today to get his wound checked and redressed.
It was proper going for my leg, I had to kick away from it.
I just kept thinking, what if he'd have fell over and it was his face? You know, I've got 2 young nieces, they were only there a couple of days previously. If it had got them, there's no way they would have survived. So, pretty traumatic few days for the both of us.
One of the problems with dog bite wounds is infection.
You kind of know what dogs do, don't you? Where they put their mouths. And that's not necessarily the cleanest part of the world. They lick their own bottoms, so there is always a risk of them getting infected, but the antibiotics you're on should work. And just give us a shout if it's painful, yeah? People often don't appreciate that when the dog bites, it squashes the tissues down, so it would squeeze and squeeze down. So there's often the likelihood that those cuts are actually linked on the inside, because as the dog bites, they create a track with their long teeth. And then you've got infection driven right into the tissues, and that's a problem. These two look great, to be honest. They're healing quite nicely. And even this one, despite the fact it's in a really nasty place to have an injury, it's actually healing really nicely. Nothing really to worry about. There's no real infection there. But it's at least 2, 3, maybe even a little bit longer weeks for this to heal. Just put your leg out straight for us. And what we're going to do is just put another couple of the same dressings on that we put before. This is an antiseptic one. We come from a family with dogs in it, and they are fantastic companions. They're lovely animals. Having seen so many of these injuries now, when my own children are around dogs, I'm just so cautious. I'm quite scared because you just don't know what's going to happen.
Emily's been in hospital for over a month after a life-saving bone marrow transplant.
I'd like to go home. I forgot what my bedroom looked like.
How are you?
But it's down to Dr. Wynne to decide if she's well enough.
Your blood's good and you've got no problems, no complications. Things could not have gone better to this point, but we may have things to deal with in the future, but things are going very well. The longer it goes, the easier it gets, usually. I'm very happy with your girl, and we're very optimistic for the future. So you're free to go home.
Emily will need to come back to the hospital for regular blood tests, but from now on she'll be able to continue her medication back home.
Do it. I'm just so happy to be going home, getting the family back together and getting back to a little bit of normality.
And Emily has amazed everybody with the way she's dealt with her illness.
I just can't put into words how proud we feel of her. She's just coped so well with it all. She's been so positive. I think we can learn a lot from her.
Take care. Yeah. Be good.
One of the pleasures of paediatric bone marrow transplantation is just how resilient children like Emily are. This is a major medical procedure that she's undergone, and yet when you look at her now, you would have no inkling of that. But give that same treatment to an adult patient, then you would see just what a major medical procedure bone marrow transplantation is. She's a star.
It'll be at least a year before doctors can give Emily the all clear, but for now, her future's looking good.
Does need sutures to keep the scarring to a minimum. And he's too small to have it done under local anaesthetic. He wouldn't sit still enough to be able to get a good enough repair. When he wakes up, he'll be essentially pain-free.
The wound is cleaned, repaired and stitched. And now the 20-minute surgery is complete, Joseph can go to recovery and be reunited with his mum.